Can you clarify the term kaleidoscope thinking?
Kaleidoscope thinking is, from what I understand, an idea that was born through a Harvard professor years ago. And the idea is that when you face a problem and you hit a wall on something, most people tend to kind of go back to their repository of knowledge and try to find a way through that wall. It could be a process issue or what have you. And what it means, what it says is if you change the kaleidoscope, as you'll note, the colors and the light will vary depending on how you change the lens. So it's important to try to draw upon maybe a lesson learned in a whole different industry. In our case, it could be maybe something in the biotech world happened or in the software world happened that we can apply to a problem or a challenge that we're facing here. And it may be kind of related to what Stephen Covey says is step back and sharpen the saw as well, to take a clean, fresh sheet approach to a problem or an opportunity.
Okay. You've talked about corporate culture.
Yes.
You mentioned that, and I wanted to find out from you, what is your role in shaping and reinforcing the corporate culture at FedEx?
I think corporate culture is arguably the most important asset that a company has, and it is the connective tissue to reputation and brand. And if you have a strong culture, you will invariably have a strong reputation. The two are complementary and intertwined. And our philosophy is you start inside before you can win outside. And particularly today, culture is so important because as businesses become more and more commoditized, and there is a race for intellectual capital, particularly because we're dealing in free agent societies. People and workers are so mobile now, they're not as loyal as they used to be. And certainly knowing that employees can be either your best ally or advocate or your worst enemy. All of these reasons, recruiting, retention, discretionary effort, the ability to engage people and empower them to be your advocates over the internet, to me, demonstrate the fact that culture now is more important than it's ever been. And if you can keep that front and center as an executive, and we're fortunate enough to do that here, so it's a real pleasure to work in a company that really shares this philosophy. Corporate communications people can find immense opportunities to add value. Yeah.
The recent ethical lapses in business, CEO missteps, failure to pay attention to perhaps safety of employees, safety of the public, et cetera, across the corporate landscape in the U.S. How has that impacted the public relations profession, or the profession, as you put it, in the modern media company?
The corporate malfeasance that we have witnessed in this past decade or so, and these sort of flashpoints of executive largesse, whether it's incredible, packages that people get, parachutes to leave companies, or a lack of integrity around pay for performance, and the meltdowns of some of the companies, has created a level of distrust that certainly has, I think, had a downstream effect on a lot of really good corporations that are doing the right thing. And what it's done is it's made it more difficult for companies to be effective in advocating, whether it be policies to create and stimulate jobs or growth or to improve our competitiveness. And you're seeing that right now. I mean, the corporate voice in Washington, I think, is inhibited and stymied a bit by the fact that there is a populist sentiment out there that corporations can't be trusted as much as they used to be, that executives are living large, and that there is this unfair divide between them and the frontline worker. And these flashpoints of these sort of egregious examples, if you will, because of the visibility and transparency that people have, because the way the news media operates now, and I think has had a downstream again effect on us, and it's diluted the power of the voice in policy making. And history has shown that it's business that is the locomotive for job creation and growth. So right now you have this tax reform debate. You know, should rates go up, should they go down? Well, business is up there saying, if you bring the rates down to competitive levels vis-a-vis other countries around the world, and you incent businesses to spend their capital on equipment and software and things like that that create jobs and durable goods and stimulate activity, then we will find a better way out of this. Well, guess what? That's a tough sell these days, because the political folks are trying to read the sentiment of their constituents. And if you look at the research, a lot of these constituents are saying, I don't know if we trust corporate America anymore. They're already living large, and don't give them any breaks. This creates a significant problem.
And a big challenge
Yeah.
for corporate communications.
Yeah.